when people keep commenting that, oh, when Cardi B said his favorite color is 5, I cackled. If you laughed, let's unpack what's really happening here, because this isn't just funny commentary. This is ableism disguised as humor.
Blindly fabulous, a blind girl living my best life. Okay.
So I'm Sylvia, I'm blind, I'm a mom, and I'm a whole bunch of things. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about why laughing at disability is not harmless. So welcome to Surviving Ableism. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, I just wanted to read like a couple comments from the last video. I want you guys to see what people are actually saying, what's actually being said out there. And there's a few videos, there's, you know, from my shorts, there's from my videos on other platforms, and there's actually on the last video. So let's open that up and hopefully I'll be able to see the screen to read it. Okay, so it's up on the screen. So as you can see, this is my video that I posted last time when I was talking about how nonverbal is not an insult, and it shouldn't be and it should never be, and why it's not an insult really and truly. We have some very sensible people here, but of course, as always, there's people like this who will say things like, tell people to stop starting with people if their kids have disabilities. I beg your finest pardon. And then someone said, clearly you're biased, by the way, but clearly you're biased. It's fair game. It's fair game to talk about somebody's disability, which I got into. I was like, wait, so you're saying it's fair game to say that someone's actions bad is why they have been punished by God and so on and so forth, to have a child who has a disability, because what disability is a punishment and a curse? Is that what we're saying? And you know, at some point I realized I'm wasting my energy. I realized I'm wasting my energy, because let me just actually take this off the screen. It's a waste of my energy to try and explain something to people who are so clearly hell-bent on defending actions that make zero sense. But you know what, let me just take this off the screen and we can carry on, because today I wanted to talk about something else kind of related to it, and that is one of the comments that Cardi B made is about, again, based on, you know, the child's potential alleged disability, and a lot of people found that hilarious. In fact, like, one of the most recurring themes I saw was people writing, oh my gosh, that was so funny, that was so slick, that was the best line ever, and so on and so forth. And I'm just going to put some of those on the screen for you to see, the ones that I remembered to like screenshot and show you. But yeah, if you laughed at that, notice that people didn't even like pause to think about that. They didn't question that, you know, they just thought it was so clever and so funny, and, you know, wow, she's the queen of shade and so on and so forth. And I just want to add again, I'm not here to speak against anybody in particular. It's just that I am here to kind of comment on the things that we allow as a society, the things we allow as people, as a community, and how this impacts people in ways that maybe people don't realize. But you know what, that's why I'm here, that's why I'm speaking, that's why I'm talking about it, because maybe, just maybe, if people are more aware and they think about things more, then maybe, just maybe, life might be a bit better for us, for those of us with disability. But hey, again, like I said in the last video, who am I? But yeah, so I just want to basically unpack why that is not funny, and why laughing at certain things builds a certain like environment, in our community. It makes, like, what does that say about our culture, you know, that we're laughing at such things? You know, like, what cultural habit is that rooted in? Laughter is not neutral, you know. Laughter is, it's a signal, right? It's saying, you know what, I'm okay with this being said about marginalized groups of people. I'm fine with this. That's what laughter says. When you pick on a certain thing that somebody has said and you like condone it, and only you condoning it, you are egging it on. Let's use some British terms. You're egging it on. Yeah, that means you are accepting that as part of our culture, as part of what is okay with you. When a public figure like uses a characteristic that you can't like defend yourself against, if that makes sense, you can't change it, and then people laugh, that is like tacit consent, right? Like, that is everybody agreeing that yes, let's keep using this word, let's keep this word in our vocabulary, this is okay, these things are fine, let's keep this going, let's keep this language going. And that matters deeply because disability affects so many people. Even if you have no experience of disability whatsoever, laughing about these things, you just have to, I don't know, like we just have to think about our action altogether. I know not everybody cares about social responsibility and all of that, but I think if just enough of us did, then it would make all the difference in the world. Literally, I think I mentioned this in the last video, 1.3 billion people globally have some sort of disability, and that means that 16% of the global population have a disability or live with a disability. That's a lot of people. That is, what is that, 1 in 5? About 1 in 5, around there. Of those people, right, amongst children who are 0 to 17 years old, 10.1% of them have some sort of disability, either, you know, from moderate to severe, but they have some sort of disability, 10.1%. Again, that's 1 in 10. That's around 1 in 10 children having a disability. And when we keep language like this in circulation, when we laugh about things like this, when we encourage and condone people speaking in this way about other people, what are we really telling our young people? What are we really telling our children? What kind of future are we really building for the future people? It's not rare, it's like a reality for so many people. So whenever we're mocking or laughing at disability, we're mocking like a reality that affects and touches so many people.
I'm the landscape you need to see. You are the...
As somebody who lives with blindness, or as somebody who is blind, I wouldn't say I live with blindness, like that's a bit different, but as somebody who is blind, I hear those throwaway comments a bit differently. They feel more like a nudge, and they cut, actually more like a blade even, I would say. It does give you, or it does give me rather, like a different perspective when you have a certain condition and people seem to think there's something funny about it. I'm not saying about those phrases like, oh, are you blind, why didn't you see that, which in a way, again, it's still kind of harmful language. It still is. I hadn't even thought about it until someone actually asked me that question. I was like, wait, you know what? That made me actually dig deep and like think about it. And honestly, I think sometimes it depends on the context and the person. But when somebody is speaking as if being blind means to be unintelligent, that's when it's different. So when someone says, are you blind? How did you not figure out X, Y, and Z? It's like ableism. Jokes and comments like that, throwaway as they might be, they echo a history of like stigma, of being marginalized, of being told you are less, you are not enough, you're not an actual human being. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, they used to delete disabled people because they didn't think that there was any point in, you know, continuing with life. You know, they didn't think that there would be any point in them, as it were. So it's just it's been a long history of stigma, of mistreatment, and really getting to a point where people remember us as human beings and they look past certain things. Like, look at Helen Keller. If if her person that was looking after her, if she didn't take her time to teach her, to talk to her, to try and communicate with her, that would have been essentially a throwaway person, if that makes sense. That would have been a person whose potential would never have been realized. And I think, if I'm not wrong, she revolutionized communication for deafblind people. So I was going to say, you're only acceptable when you are hidden, or you're muted, or hidden away somewhere. You know, that's what laughing at this sort of language echoes. It's deeper than what it might look like. It's deeper than what it might feel like to some people. When someone laughs about these things, they're not just reacting to the moment. They are participating and contributing to the legacy. So whatever you say is okay today is going to be okay tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But if you put a stop to something today, if today you make a decision to no longer do something, then it's not going to carry on. But if we're here today laughing at jokes like this, commenting, laughing about it, and so on and so forth, doing those throwaway comments, refusing to maybe acknowledge what ableism is, which I think might be a whole separate video of me explaining what ableism and the history of ableism and everything. Yeah, that's the future that we're building. It's not just that one moment, and some people might look at it that way, but it's really not. And I mean, that's why I'm back here talking about it again. And I'll never get tired of talking about it. So if you laughed, you know, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, just sort of pause and ask yourself, but why did I laugh? Do I really want to contribute to making disability a punchline, or continuing to make disability a punchline? Next time you hear disability being used as an insult, don't just ignore it. Name it, question it, and call it out. Or the other way around, whichever order it's going to go in. Question it, name it, and call it out. Because that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking about this. It's so we are all better off, or better informed. If this video made you think, share it. You know, let's flood the conversation with disability is never a joke. So yeah, drop your thoughts. If you laughed or you didn't. Let's talk about it. Let's unpack this whole situation. I don't know, some people from the disabled community, like I mentioned, the group of people last time, they are comedians, right? And I explained this before as well, just to be clear, that when the joke is coming from the actual disabled person, then that's different from somebody else saying somebody is disabled and insinuating that they are less because of it. That's an entirely different situation. So I don't want us to conflate issues here. Disabled people from the disabled community, we definitely say jokes. We joke about ourselves, we joke about each other, to each other, and so on and so forth. And at that point, it's okay to laugh. However, when someone who is non-disabled, or when someone is speaking down on somebody because of a disability, let's put it that way, then that's an entirely different case. And we want to have just a nice, lovely world for everybody, a nice, inclusive world for everybody in the future. So I don't know. Well, I do know. So just let me know what your thoughts are, and we'll catch up on the next one. Thank you so much for watching Surviving Ableism. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.